morning, everyone. Cappy here, 410 Expedition. I haven't been in the garage much filming lately. Been busy with the weekends. I had a huge project that Tracy wanted me to do, and that's to build a whole new staircase in the house. She said, you know, if you can build a really cool, badass trailer, why can't you build me some stairs? So I've been busy doing that for a few weeks. But I'm back in the garage. We're going to talk a little about the EH-2 today. I've been getting a lot of questions through the YouTube channel. Thank you very much. I enjoy that a lot. And a lot of it is directed towards the EH-2. Where am I at today? What would I do differently? What would I change? So I'm going to go over a few things that I'm going to do over the winter months, because production is going to come to a little bit of a crawl this winter. Typically in the wintertime, our trips, our weekends, they scale down. Just the weather, you know, cold. But we will get some winter camping out. We will get some winter overlanding done this winter, I promise you. But in the meantime, it'll give you an opportunity to improve some things on the EH-2. And I'll go over some of the questions that I'm asked almost regularly on the channel. So far, the EH-2 has been doing phenomenal. I'm very happy with the results. It has exceeded my expectations, and there are a few things that I did see that I need to improve on. Yes, it is weatherproof. It's not waterproof. A lot of you ask me if it's waterproof. I can have this thing out in the rain. I have no problems. My clearance is 24 inches from the ground. So if I'm going through a creek or a river, I got quite a bit of height there. So, and I'm not going any higher than that. So is it sealed at the bottom? No, it's not. If I was to float down a river with this thing, I would probably flood it. So. And the main reason for that is because of my side doors here that I've made. One of the things that I need to do is improve on a Z flange, get one actually custom made for both sides to get an actual Z flange, like a door flange seal. I made my own. I learned from it. I'm not going to do it again. So over the winter months, I'm going to be improving on the side doors. The doors themselves are awesome. It's just the actual flange on the exterior and the waterproofing I have on the inside. So that's one of the main things I'm going to do to improve on this. Secondly, the other thing that I'm going to do is improve, actually not improve, but I will replace the front jack. The wheel I have on there is plastic. And when you try to move this trailer around on concrete or asphalt, it doesn't spin very well. It doesn't turn. It gets caught up. It starts to bind. I want to put a pneumatic wheel on there, something that rolls a lot easier and I have more freedom. Also, my height. It's not long enough. If you notice that orange donut that I typically use, I had to build a block underneath it so that I can get the height, so that when I'm jacking it up and I want to be level, as you can notice, I'm maxed out right now on the extension of that jack. You can see I am not level here right now. So I need to get a new jack installed. Good thing is I did not weld it on. I bolted it on because I did think about that going forward. You know, what if I have to adjust the height of that? I wanted to be able to change it out easily. So that's the second thing that I'm going to change on the EH-2. Third, I will add some mud flaps to the rear. I did have mud flaps temporarily screwed on during our Arizona trip that we did going to Overland Expo, just because we were warned that there were going to be some state patrol troopers that might pull you over because of that. So I will do a permanent solution to have mud flaps installed on this, because when Bruce or somebody else is following me on a gravel road, these dirt tracks, they're spitting a ton of gravel and rocks. Today what also I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything out of the EH-2. I'm going to show you my full loadout of what I actually store in the Expedition hauler. So I'll have everything out on the driveway, all laid out, At the same time, it lets me reassess what I have for gear, what I didn't use at all this year. One thing that I love doing is kind of reevaluating what you have, and sometimes you just end up having this piece of kit in there that you've never used before. Murphy's Law is you take it out, all of a sudden you're going to need it. But from experience, I want to minimize what we take out on trips. I don't want to overload this thing. So yeah. Another improvement that I'm also thinking about doing is the front spare tire I have. I'm loading a lot of weight right now in the front of the EH-2, which is really dropping the rear axle of my Jeep. I could do a couple of things. I could get the Overlander kit like Brad at Trail Recon did. He got the an Overlander kit which raised the rear end of his JK, which now that he's added the new Rhino rack on there with his rooftop tent, it's an Overlander kit which allows you to have more weight at the back. Well, I'm getting some major pull on the EH-2 on the weight at the tongue. So one of the things is my spare tire. So if I do long trips where I'm going to drive a very long distance, I will have that extra spare put on. If I'm doing just weekend trips, I have the same bolt pattern on the Jeep than what I have on the trailer. So I can always use that spare that's on the JK. But for long distances, it's always recommended to have that extra spare. Because if you're in the middle of nowhere and you're 2,000 kilometers out from anything, you're going to need a tire. So one of the things I'm going to do is try to fit a kit or something to put extra water, a water jug that I have mounted to the front. I still ideally would like to have the spare tire at the rear on a swing gate. But one of the things you have to be careful for is when you have too much weight at the back, you're going to have that bouncing sway effect. Most of your weight has to be forward in front of the axle. So it's one thing that I'm going to have to experiment with, play with a little bit. So that's another improvement that I'm thinking, or I'm really strongly considering and doing. Other than that, everything else is good. Oh, one thing I will do. I'm going to improve on this whole drawer system here. I'm going to take it all out. I'm going to rebuild the box. I'm not crazy about this look. I mean, these were just, cabinet drawers I got for free, so I just used them. Maybe I'll do a checker plating. I know I've said that before, but I need to rethink. Yeah, I need to rethink this. But my good friend Cam over at U Technologies, who's provided us with most of our LED lights that we have on our rigs, also gave me this cool, really long length of LED light, which is waterproof. So my plan is to use this and actually have it underneath the EH-2 so that it illuminates at nighttime the ground around me. I've been seeing a lot of people doing that on their Jeeps and whatnot on YouTube, and it's a great way to light up camp at night in the dark so we can see the ground better. So it's one thing I'm going to make use of this. I'm going to somehow run it through, run the power, and then have that there. But hey, we're Canadians, eh?
We like to get out in the cold, eh? Hey, look, there's a moose, eh? I'm kidding, there was no moose there.